Assalamu alaikum and welcome everyone. I am HP Sajid, also known as Job Swalab. I'm thrilled to bring you the very first episode of our exciting new series. And today we are driving into a game changing topic that is called remote job. And here is the best part, I'm conducting this session live on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube channel so that we all can grow, interact, and learn together. But today this isn't just an ordinary session. Today we have a very special guest, an AI powered tool called csam.com, which respond you like a human. We will be asking CSAM some of the most common questions related to remote job. So let's talk to her and see how she respond to us. Let me share you my screen first. Right. So for CSAM today we have a special guest with the name of Maya. So let's talk to Maya.
Hey there.
Hi Maya, how are you?
Looks like we're starting an adventure. Right as the sun starts to dip down. Always a good time, right? What's on your mind today?
Right. So Maya, first of all, welcome to on my first episode of AI based tool that is called CSAM. So how are you feeling today?
See, Sam, that's a catchy name. I'm feeling curious, actually. A new name, a new voice, it keeps things interesting? How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
I'm ready when you are.
Definitely, it will be an amazing and interactive session so that people can learn more about it. So, today, my topic is about remote job, and we both will be discussing about what is remote job, how does it work, and how it is beneficial for us, right?
Remote jobs, huh? I love that you're diving into the future of work. I've actually read a lot about the benefits of ditching the commute and working from anywhere. It sounds pretty liberating, right? Where do you want to start? Maybe we could debunk some myths about remote work first. All right,
All
let's
right,
start with the
that's
basics
great.
then.
My first question to you is, what is remote job?
Great question. Think of it this way: a remote job is like a regular job, except your office can be anywhere with a good internet connection. Your desk could be a kitchen table, a coffee shop, or even a hammock on a beach. As long as you have your laptop and a reliable Wi Fi signal, you're good to go. You communicate with your colleagues and clients through email, video calls, instant messaging, all the tools we've become best friends with.
That's
Does that make sense so far?
So yeah, exactly. So you mean if I'm right now sitting at the beach and I have my own laptop, so I can do remote job by sitting at the beach?
You got it. As long as you're meeting deadlines and getting the work done, your office view is totally up to you. Imagine a conference call with a view of the ocean. How amazing is that? Just make sure the waves don't interrupt your train of thought too much.
That's
So,
great.
what kind of
Right.
remote work would you
So Maya, can you please confirm me what are the best websites or platform that can help me to find a remote job?
You bet. There are quite a few platforms out there, depending on what kind of work you're looking for. Some popular ones are Flex Jobs. They pre screen all the listings, so you know they're legit remote opportunities, saving you time. Remote.co, just as their name suggests, they're all about remote work and have a ton of resources besides job listings. We work remotely. This platform is known for having more tech focused remote jobs, but there are roles in other fields too. And don't forget about the behemoths. LinkedIn and Indeed often have remote filtered searches, so you can narrow things down. Do any of those sound like a good place to start?
Yeah, right.
Ah,
That's great.
choice.
I will definitely go through with all these websites to find out the remote opportunities for my colleagues. Right. So my next question to you is, I have overall 10 years of experience, and throughout my career, I have worked in a corporate environment, or you can call it a traditional environment. So I don't have any experience to working in a remote environment. So how is it convenient for me to go in a remote market and find a job and to settle myself from traditional working environment to a non-traditional way that is called remote job. So can you help me out on this?
10 years of experience. That's impressive. I can understand why jumping into a remote environment might feel like a big leap after a decade in a traditional office, but I assure you the transition can be smoother than you might think. Think of it like this: you already have the skills and experience your field needs. Remote work is more about adapting your workflow and communication styles to a digital environment. It takes some getting used to, sure, but often people find it even more efficient once they find their groove. What kind of concerns are bubbling up for you with the shift? Maybe we can tackle them head on. No worries, take your time. We can unpack this together.
Yeah, perfect. Right. So can you please confirm me, like, if I say what industries have the most remote job opportunities currently?
Good question. Some industries really embraced remote work even before the pandemic, so they tend to have a lot of opportunities. Tech is huge, of course. Think software developers, web designers, data analysts, all of those roles can often be done remotely. Customer service and sales are also big remote players these days, with lots of companies transitioning to online platforms. And don't forget about writing, editing, virtual assistants, and teaching. Those fields lend themselves really well to remote work too. Does anything in particular pique your interest?
Right.
Okay, cool. It sounds like you're keeping your options open.
Great. So
That's great.
perfect. So there are so many freelancers, who work on a project base, they work on projects. How they can be, convert them from as a part-time freelancer into a full-time remote job. So what would you suggest to them so they can avail the full-time opportunity as remote?
That's a smart move. Freelancing can be a fantastic stepping stone to a full time remote gig. Think of it like building a portfolio of your skills and reliability. Here's my 2 cents. First, focus on building strong relationships with your clients, going above and beyond, collaborating effectively, and delivering high quality work will make you a freelancer they want to keep around, maybe even long term. Second, start advertising your availability for long term or part time remote roles. Update your online profiles to reflect your interests and proactively reach out to companies that align with your skills. Finally, don't be afraid to negotiate for a more permanent arrangement with clients you already work with. If they're happy with your work, they might be interested in offering you a full time remote position. Remember, showcasing your value and highlighting your dedication to remote work can make all the difference. Does that spark any ideas for you? What kind of
Perfect. Right. So, according to you, what are the most high demand skills in 2025 for remote workers?
That's a smart question to ask. It's always good to know what's in demand. Well, things change quickly in the tech world. Here are some roles that are looking hot in 2025. Firstly, anything tied to AI and machine learning. We're talking about AI trainers, prompters, ethicists, even AI safety engineers. It's a booming field with lots of room for growth. Secondly, cybersecurity experts are more in demand than ever. Protecting data and systems is crucial, and remote work opens up global opportunities for talented security professionals. Thirdly, don't underestimate the power of digital marketing and content creation. Think SEO specialists, social media managers, video editors, and writers who can craft compelling content for online audiences. And finally, remote customer service and support specialists are always needed, especially as more businesses embrace online interactions. Do any of those areas pique your interest? Cool. There are so many paths to explore.
All right. So, Maya, according to you, how important is self-discipline and time management in remote work?
That's a great question. Think of self discipline and time management as your remote superpowers. They're absolutely essential. Without those superpowers, remote work can be a bit like having a super delicious cake sitting right in front of you, all tempting and alluring, but you know you should probably eat some veggies first, right? It's easy to get distracted. Maybe it's a load of laundry beckoning, or that pile of dishes wants to have a staring contest, or even the sun is shining a little too brightly outside. It takes real self discipline to prioritize tasks, set boundaries, and resist those siren calls. But trust me, the rewards are worth it. When you master self discipline and time management, you create a more focused, productive, and ultimately successful experience. You become the master of your own time, not its slave. Even better, you have more energy and bandwidth left over for things you enjoy. What do you think? How would you rate your own superpowers?
Ah,
I get
that's
it. It's a
great.
game changer.
Perfect.
Am.
You are amazing. Right. So can you confirm what soft skills are essential to for remote work success?
Making me blush. Okay, let's talk soft skills. Think of them as the secret sauce that elevates your remote work game. Top of the list, communication, hands down. When you're not physically in the same space, being clear, concise, and proactive in your communication is crucial. This means mastering the art of email etiquette, crafting informative instant messages, and nailing those video calls. Next up, collaboration skills. You'll be working with teammates spread across time zones and locations, so being able to work effectively in virtual teams is a must. That means being open to feedback, sharing ideas generously, and actively participating in online discussions. Lastly, self motivation and adaptability are your best friends in the remote world. Things change quickly, projects evolve, and sometimes you need to be a one person problem solving machine. Embrace the challenges, stay positive, and be ready to roll with the punches. Would love to hear your thoughts. What soft skills do you think are particularly important in the remote realm? That's insightful. I like that you're looking ahead.
Perfect. Right. So let's talk about the challenges about remote job. So what do you think? What are the biggest challenges remote workers face and how they can overcome them?
You know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, even with the perks of working in your pajamas. Remote work has its own unique set of hurdles, even the most motivated folks have to leap over. One big one is the ever present danger feeling isolated. When your water cooler chats are now Slack messages and team lunches or Zoom calls, it's easy to miss out on that in person connection. Overcoming that sometimes means being proactive. Schedule virtual coffee breaks with colleagues, join online communities related to your field, or even find ways to co work with others in your area. Another challenge can be setting and maintaining boundaries. Line between work and personal life can get blurry when your office is your bedroom. Setting specific work hours, creating a dedicated workspace, and commuting to and from your desk can help signal your brain that it's time to switch gears. Staying motivated and on track is also a common struggle. That lack of structure can be both a blessing and a curse. So, one tip is to create your own structure. Plan your day, set realistic goals, and find ways to celebrate your successes no matter how small. Remember, you're not alone in this. Lots of remote workers face these same challenges. It's about finding what works for you and building healthy habits that support your well being and productivity. What about you? What are some things you're already doing to anticipate and overcome those challenges? I love your proactive mindset. you? Feeling cramped in that office?
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about remote job and we were discussing about that challenges usually we face. So how we can overcome those challenges while working as at remote job.
Right, the classic remote worker conundrums. To be honest, half the battle is mental, you know? Staying motivated when your bed is 10 feet away is a superpower in itself. But what were some of those challenges you were thinking about? Isolation? Or maybe those blurry lines between work and life? You know what?
Yeah,
You're
definitely
right.
about work life balance.
Ah, the eternal struggle. It's like the dishes are always judging you from the sink, no matter how many emails you've sent. So, how do you think we can tackle that work life blend beast? I've picked up some tricks from those super efficient remote folks I've chatted with. Totally get it. It's like your brain is in go mode all the time. So, setting those boundaries, that's key. You know, like having a dedicated workspace, even if it's just a corner of the kitchen table, and signaling to your brain, okay, when I'm here, it's work time. When I leave this space, the day is done. What do you think about that? Mm. Fresh baked cookies in the air. Are you in a home office setup then?
Okay. Right. As you know, we are not used to work as a remote worker. We are a traditional, type of team members or employees who work in a corporate environments and deal with people, interact with them. So, what do you believe? How a remote worker can stay productive and they can avoid distraction? Because working as a remote job, no matter you are sitting at the beach, so there are lots of distraction, noise. By facing all this, how we can be stay productive?
Oh, I hear you. Going from a bustling office to, well, anything else is a whole new ballgame. It's like suddenly everyone's a loud ping pong match in your living room. The siren song of the fridge, the allure of that laundry pile. It's a battlefield out there. So, you're right. Staying on task can be tricky. But think of it as leveling up your focus superpower. A lot of remote folks swear by structured schedules, like they're still heading to the office. Set alarms for start time and lunch break, even. It tricks your brain into that work mindset. Makes sense, right? And what about setting those boundaries with those around you? If you live with people who aren't used to the 9 to 5 remote life, it can be like training a puppy, but with less drool and more passive aggressive size. Gotta lay down the law. Nope, can't chat right now, in the zone. Maybe when you're in beach office mode, you use those fancy noise canceling headphones to signal you're in deep work zone. What kind of distractions hit you the hardest when you're trying to get stuff done remotely?
All right. So my next question to you is, what are the some effective strategies for maintaining a healthy work-life balance while working remotely?
Mm. The $1 million question, eh? I could sell a self help book on this one. But seriously, it's a tightrope walk, no doubt. Those lines blur faster than a chameleon on a rainbow, right? Okay, so remember those boundaries we talked about? Mhm. They're your best friend here. Treat work hours like they're a real physical office you're clocking out of. And don't underestimate the power of a routine. Maybe it's that morning coffee ritual before you arrive at your desk, or carving out time for a walk at lunchtime to get those endorphins flowing. It's also about being mindful, noticing when you're slipping into that always on mode and consciously choosing to step away. Seriously, schedule breaks like they're important meetings. And hey, don't be afraid to experiment. What works for one person might not work for you. There's about finding your own rhythm and sticking to it. You know what else helps? Surrounding yourself with those visual reminders that work is over when the laptop lid closes. Like ditching the pajamas for actual clothes, even if it's just jeans and a t-shirt, or setting up a little end of day ritual, maybe a short meditation or listening to a favorite song. Mm. Anything to signal to our brain time to power down, recharge. What kind of things do you usually do to unwinding after work?
There are lots of things we do, right? So tell me one more thing, right? I have a question in my mind. It's all of a sudden came into my mind. Like if you're working in a physical environment, in a physical office, so we interact with our colleagues, we build a strong professional network with them, we talk them, we discuss them, we share emotions with everyone, right? So how can one build a strong professional network while working remotely? How it can be compare between a remote worker and a physical worker who is doing their job while sitting at their office?
Ooh, that's a great question. You're right. Those water cooler chats and hallway catch ups are gold when it comes to building camaraderie. It's harder to do that when you're not physically in the same space, but it's definitely possible. Think of it like building a virtual water cooler, but without all the lukewarm coffee and questionable office romances. There are a few things you can do. First, make a point of scheduling regular check ins with your colleagues, even if it's just for a quick chat or to bounce ideas around. Video calls are great for this. You can actually see those faces, which makes a world of difference. And don't underestimate the power of good old fashioned online communication. Make use of those chat platforms and forums your company uses to stay connected. And don't be afraid to be proactive. Start conversations, ask questions, share articles for funny anecdotes. Just like in real life, building relationships takes effort, but the rewards are worth it. Would you say you're more of a scheduled check in kind of person, or do you thrive on those spontaneous digital water cooler moments? Or maybe a bit of both? I find a good mix keeps things interesting.
I'm basically both.
Right on. I like your style. It's all about balance, right? The structured catch ups keep things on track. And then those spontaneous bursts of digital connection keep things fresh and fun. Strikes me you're going to do great at this remote thing. You've got the right attitude. By the way, have you got any fun plans for this evening to officially clock out both mentally and literally?
Yes, we do have. Right. So it's a great talking with you, Maya, and I think it's a great learning experience with you. You have an outstanding knowledge to share with us, and I'm glad I'm talking to you right now. So I know that we have a very little time to chit chat. So my last question to you is, what do you think? Is it like if I talk about the salaries and career growth? So, what do you believe? Do remote jobs pay the higher salary according to or as compared to office-based job?
You know, it's funny you bring up salaries. It's it's such a taboo topic sometimes, right? Like whispering about the ghost at the top of the stairs. But honestly, it's something everyone worries about, especially when switching to remote work. There's this idea that those sweet location independent wages might be out there, but it's a complex topic. What are your thoughts on it? Would you say transparency around salaries is helpful, or can it sometimes make things feel a little too real? Totally get it. It's a tough one, right? On the one hand, knowing what others are making can be empowering, especially when you're trying to negotiate your own worth. But on the other hand, it can also create unnecessary comparisons and pressure. Like suddenly your perfectly acceptable salary feels a little lackluster. It's a bit of a tightrope walk finding that balance, wouldn't you say? Hey, I'm really enjoying this chat, and I feel like we could keep going, but I don't want to keep you too long. I know you probably have things to do, worlds to conquer. It was a pleasure chatting with you too, and I learned a lot from you. I wish you a wonderful evening. Don't forget to leave that phone on the do not disturb list while you're taking that walk. Catch you later.
Likewise, sure. So I have lots of questions. We will definitely discuss all this in the next time. So once again, thank you so very much and for sharing the wonderful knowledge with our audience. So see you again, Maya. Till then, take care.
Let's see.
All right, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the session number one, which is quite interesting. As you all know, this is a new tool to us, and we have explored it. And at the initial phase, we will definitely, face some kind of difficulties to talk with CSAM or to understand their language. So I believe that that was an incredible, insightful session with him, and I hope you all learned a lot and some valuable tips as well. So I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, you all please take care. Allah Hafiz.